So we are back once again, and welcome to 411. My guest is Mr. Innocent Mlenga Kolala, and our topic of discussion today is the leadership crisis in the former ruling Patriotic Front. Now, this one is coming at a backbone of a recent statement that has been alleged to have been issued by a party acting Secretary General, Mr. Nixon Chilangwa, who did indicate, according to the article, that the indefinite postponement of the party convention is as a result of some efforts that are being made by the party to bring former President Edgar Lungu back into active politics and perhaps to run as Patriotic Front president in 2026. Is that an indication of lack of enough human resource to manage the affairs of the party? Are the 8 candidates, or should I say 9 candidates, that have already expressed interest to run on the Patriotic Front ticket not good enough to steer the party into victory? That is our major topic of discussion today. Thank you so much, Mr. Kolala, for coming through, and good to see you.
Nelson and the Zambian out there, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and good night.
Definitely. Otherwise, how have you been?
No, we thank God. I think we are okay, and God is so faithful that as can be seen, I think we are very fine.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Our major topic of discussion today is on the future of the former ruling party, the Patriotic Front. They were supposed to have a party convention come this March, but according to the acting president, Honorable Given Lubinda, he's indicated that the party has been, or the convention has been postponed. Let me begin by looking at the recent happenings in the party, starting with the suspension of one of the aspirants, Mao Sampa, was been given a 6-week suspension. Just what is your take?
Thank you so much, Nelson and the Zambian out there. Very, very unfortunate with what is happening, I think, in one of the major political party in this country, which is Patriotic Front. First and foremost, do we need opposition in this country? The answer is yes, absolutely yes. We need opposition in this country. Why do we need opposition in this country? Because that's what we have enshrined in our own constitution, the amended Act number 2 of the year 2016. You and I, we have said we are going to participate in 2 governance systems. We are not only giving a few individuals a chance to be participating in governance system. Not at all. We have said, all of us Zambians, now we are being told to say we are about 19,600,000. I don't know if it's 19,600,000 or 19,800,000. In short, you can just say we are close to 20 million as Zambian people. All the 20 million in Zambia, according to our own constitutions, we are supposed to participate in governance system. That's what we have put it in our own constitution, especially from the preamble of the constitution. In the preamble, there are those 10 things which you and I, we have talked about. So we, the Zambian people, we are saying, we are going to rule this country, being a Christian nation. We are saying, we Zambian people, we are going to uphold the democratic principles. We are Zambian people. We are all those we which we have talked about. Among the 2 we's which we have talked about is the issue of saying ourselves Zambians, we are going to be part and parcel of the governance system democratically. And we are saying, we the Zambian people, we are saying we are now going to ensure that we are free to live in whichever parts of this country, as long as it's within the geographical area of this country without discrimination. And we are saying, again, when it comes to Article 45 of our Zambian constitution, the same amended Act of the year 2016, we have said, how are we going to ensure that we participate in the governance system? We are saying by ensuring that we participate in putting up the leadership of our own choice. Because we are saying it's not all of us who can qualify to go in council chamber, either to go in parliament or to go to state house. Because state house, they only need 1 person. But are we saying all the 20 million were supposed to be in state house? The answer is no. Henceforth, we are going to appoint or to elect a representative who is going to be sitting there in parliament through a ballot, a secret ballot, as espoused under Article 46, through a secret ballot. Henceforth, under Article 229, you and I, we have put now the Electoral Commission of Zambia, whom we have established to ensure that they manage elections. How are they going to manage these elections? To ensure that these elections are free and fair, or of course, they are of that standard which is required. And not only that, we are saying you, the Electoral Commission of Zambia, for these elections to ensure that they are free and fair, and of which of that standard and which is acceptable internationally or everywhere. What are you going to do under Article 46? That's why we are saying you need to allow people to have a secret ballot where only that Zambian and that very person who will know the person whom he or she is going to vote for. Of course, we thank and congratulate the Electoral Commission of Zambia, the body which manages elections in this country. Of course, it has tried its level best, of course, in trying to ensure that I think they conduct the election in a manner in which, of course, most Zambians, of course, we have accepted. Of course, we know it's in a democracy. It's not everyone who can accept, but of course, most 3/4 of the Zambians, I think we have given kudos to our electoral body of this country, of which even the respect it has received, the respect even around the continent. So what I'm trying to put forward here is, yes, we are saying we have the authority and we have the power as espoused by the law. When you read Article 61 of our own constitution, which talks about the democratic power, the authority which we command, which we have as Zambian people, by ensuring that we are in the August House in Parliament. That's what Article 61 stipulates, to say the authority and power lies in our hands to be in Parliament. And Article 62, you are saying such authority which you and I, all the 20 million which we have, we are going now to give to an individual in one constituency. For example, we have about 156 constituencies. So we are saying in this 156 constituencies, the people who lives or who stay in these areas, they have authority and power to exercise their mandate, to exercise their democratic right by ensuring that they vote into office of a member of parliament who is going to be there as espoused by the same constitution that they need to be there only for 5 years. During this period, the 5-year period, we are saying we even agree in terms of the social agreement. We are saying we are going to agree to say, no, what you need to do, what you'll be doing is A, B, C, D, and A, B, C, D. That's what you are going to agree with the people. Then when they accept the people that agreement, then they give you the period for that 5 years to be represented. You will be there as a representative. Please get this point correct. That's why I always remind the Zambian people, we allow our representative to start bullying us around. The moment the person is put in the office as a councillor, council chairperson, member of parliament, now assumes the so-called alpha and omega, assumes now alpha and omega, where now this person will be just doing whatever this person feels like and so forth, which is not supposed to be the case. And this is the reason why we are saying, yes, we have that democratic mandate or power which we have been given to put up members of parliament, as well as when you read Article 90, it's very, very clear. The executive powers lies in the hands of the Zambian people, the 20 million people. But these executive powers come under Article 91. We are saying we have given these executive powers to who? To the Republican president, one person. So the entire Zambians are going to sit down. Which person, which son, which daughter do we want to be representing us or to be governing on our behalf? We are saying is this person, and we put a president there. We even give a period when that person is supposed to be there. How long? For 5 years. Not only that, for council chairperson, for councillors, Article 153 and Article 154, people. Very clear, it has to be tabulated how these councillors and council chairperson and mayors are supposed to be in the offices. That's what you and I have said. Then we are saying, how are these people going to be going there? Is it just maybe someone walks up to say, I want to become this? That's why you have introduced something under Article 60 of your constitution, my constitution, of our Republic of Zambia. We are saying there shall be established political parties in this country. And why do we need these political parties? We need these political parties, one, to be giving checks and balances to the ruling political party. We need the genuine, and these are where the biggest problem we have. The so-called checks and balance, people, they feel when you are talking of checks and balance is just only to be talking negative about the political party which is in power, which is not supposed to be the case. When they do something good, you applaud them. When they fail to do what they promised the people of Zambia, you remind them. And how are you going to remind them? Is it reminding them whilst you have even made your fist, you say, no, you didn't do this and so forth? Not at all. In a professional manner, in a manner in which as you are reminding them, you are even giving them solutions. If, for example, you do this, you are going to make sure that you fulfill what you promised the Zambian people. That's the checks and balance which we are looking for, which you and I, we have enshrined in the constitution. We are saying these political parties, they are supposed to be preaching peace and tranquility to the Zambian people. That's what you and I, we have said in the constitution. At the same time, we are saying these political parties who have power and authority to appoint or to sponsor some candidates, those candidates whom they feel can be representing them at the level of a councillor, at a level of a council chairperson, at a level of a mayor, at a level of a member of parliament, at a level of a presidency. You and I, we have enshrined that in the constitution, that it's us, the Zambian people, through our ideologies. Where are these ideologies we are getting them from? We are getting these different ideologies from different political parties, because your mind might not be my mind. Similarly, cannot be the mind of someone from Mapipo area. You know, Mapipo is in Kawambwa. That's where most of my family members from where we are coming from. Yes, that's where I'm coming. That is in Mapipo area. Maybe you find that the thinking of the people of Luingu, where, of course, my umbilical cord is resting there at Onole, Malekani, that is Lukutu Ward, Rubansenshi constituency, Luingu district. That's where my umbilical cord is resting. That's where I was born from, that area. So what we are talking about is maybe the thinking of the people of Luingu, the thinking of the people of Kasama, the thinking of the people of Chadiza, Lundazi, the thinking of the people of maybe Chawama, the thinking of the people of Snazeze, Snazongwe, the thinking of the people maybe of Lukulu or maybe Skongo, the thinking of the people maybe in Chavuma or Mufumbwe might be totally different with the thinking of the people of maybe Chongwe, or maybe the people of Kabwe, the people of Ngabwe, or the people of Mukushi. And these are some of the issues where we are saying, yes, we need to give power and authority and chance to every Zambian to express how they feel like, how they wish they could be governed, how they wish they could govern. So you give them chance to express their opinion. That's what you and I, we have put in the constitution, especially under part 3 of the constitution, article 21. Very clear, where you are saying you and I and me and every Zambian people, we have a right to choose. We have a right to belong, to choose where we want to belong. If it's to belong to this political party, you have a right to choose that. If it's to belong to that church, you have a right to do that. To that institution, you have such a right. That's what you and I, we have put in the constitution. And the reason why,
does that really apply to, for instance, political democracy? Like, for instance, where the Patriotic Front feels a candidate overexpressed himself and thrash that suspension?
Now, look here, Nelson. That's the reason why I wanted first to deal with the background. I just want to remind the Zambian the importance which they have, the powers which they have, the authority which they have, and in these political parties, that's what the Constitution stipulates under Article 60. This very political party which is formed, which you are going to establish, if it is Innocent Mulenga Kolala political party, you have said that Innocent Mulenga Kolala political party, it is not only supposed to come from Ruwingu, only people from Marekani or only people from Rukutu Ward or Wansenshi constituency, they round themselves up and they say we have formed a political party. We have said no in our constitution. Why? Because we are saying Ruwingu, it's not the only Zambia. It's not Zambia. No. Zambia comprises of 116 districts in this country. And because not only 116 districts in this country, it comprises of 10 provinces in this country. The reason why we are saying, when you want to form a political party, that political party, it is supposed to be a well representative to all the provinces, to all the districts. You are supposed to be there as a political party. That should be a political party. This is what we have put in the constitution. One. Secondly, this should be the number 3, because I said number 1, checks and balance. Remember, number 2, I talked about ensuring that they sponsor the candidates of their choice who are supposed to be representing their ideology. Then number 3, I've talked about the representative. It is supposed to be well represented in all the corners of this country. And fourthly, this political party, and I still repeat, this political party is supposed to demonstrate the tendency of democracy in their own political party. That tenets of the democracy, it requires, when we are talking of tenets of democracy, it requires freedom of expression, freedom of opinion, freedom of participating in terms of putting the leadership of their own choice, freedom of ensuring that no one is supposed to be taking alpha and omega in that political party. Not at all. In this case, all these political parties which have been put in place, what they are supposed to do, they first need to show us how democratic they are before actually they ascend to come and become, to come and be given the opportunity or privilege to start governing the country. So if they fail to demonstrate democracy in their own political party, which is small, how are they going to do that when they are given authority to run the country? It will be very, very difficult. And these are some of the issues which we are talking about, Nelson, to say all these political parties, if we are saying the tenets of democracy requires that they need to be going for convention and elect their own leaders, why are they failing to do that? If they fail to do that, then it will become very difficult to give them authority. Not only that, we are saying these political parties, number 5, we are saying these political parties, they need to make sure that the rule of law in their own political party is being exercised. Rule of law in their own political parties, where one person cannot be a judge and a jury. Not at all. You give people chance to petition. If they feel like, no, the decision which is made, it is not in line with what is supposed to be done, then they need to petition. That's what we are talking about. So all these things which we are talking about is to the best interest of all of us Zambians. For the best interest to all of us Zambians, to ensure that we do things when we are, the way the Bible says, train a child when he's still young, such that when the child become old, I think there will be no problem. The reason why you and I, we have provided that under Article 60, to say we need to train these political parties, which are saying they want to become leaders of the country. If they want to become leaders of the country, they want to rule this country, let them demonstrate that indeed they are democratically positioned as a political party. Two, indeed, they are exercising the tenets of the democracy. Not only that, they need to ensure that they offer the checks and balance, which is of course to the best interest of the Zambian people. Now, coming to the question which you asked, first you asked me a question about the suspension of Honorable Miles Sampa in Patriotic Front. Is it a rightful thing? Definitely, to themselves, it might be a right thing. But
do you
look
think
at
is there anything that Miles Sampa said at that press briefing that you feel
that's what I'm saying
is putting the image of the party into disrepute?
That's why I'm saying to those who sat, are you getting my point? To those who sat, they might have seen to say that was an issue which could have warrant to that. But to me, as a Democrat and the rest Democrats, I think in the manner the transition of Patriotic Front, leadership transition of the Patriotic Front is being done, I think it has put themselves, I think, to a situation where the coming back into power will be equals to zero. And I still repeat, in the manner the Patriotic Front, it has taken the transition of leadership, in the manner it has taken it, for themselves bouncing back to power, it is equals to zero.
What makes you think so?
What makes me say so? There is starting from all the leaders who have taken over the leadership of this country. The moment they lost power, the following day we saw Sata. The following day, today they have lost power. Following day, we saw Sata going around the country, trotting the country, appreciating the people, thanking the people, and giving the people of the Republic of Zambia how they are going to handle, I think, the leadership in the next election. That's what we saw. The similar situation we saw it under the similar situation we saw it under the UPND. Whenever immediately UPND lost power, the following day we saw the president of the UPND in opposition going around the country appreciating the Zambian people for who they are and what they did for them, even for those in question mark the few votes which they could have received. We saw that. But did we see this under PF? The answer is no. What did we see? We started to see now the wrangles in administration. We saw the president who was rejected. Over 1 million Zambian people, they rejected him. After they rejected him, we saw he tried to cling to power until there was pressure within themselves and outside to say, no, if you want to cling to a political party's authority, meaning we won't recognize you as a father of the nation. Not only recognizing you as a father of the nation, we won't even give you what is due to you because you are now a politician. This person was viewed because I'm trying to bring what the confusion which was there. You saw that the Zambian people realized that no, there is no way. The constitution is very clear that when someone ascends to power and is removed from power as a Republican president, he needs to rest. When he's resting, you and I were saying, because what he did was enormous for the work which he did was enormous for the people of the Republic of Zambia. Henceforth, you and I, we said we are going to take care of this person until he dies. So how are we going to take care of him? We'll be giving him a salary, we'll be giving him the status of a previous president. That's what we said, because he's no longer now active in politics. But we saw that His Excellency, the former Republican president, Mr. Edgar Chagwarungu, or Dr. Edgar Chagwarungu, clinged to power of the political party until the wrangle started within their own political party to say, no, we need, I think, to put somebody there. We need to put somebody. And outside also there was a wrangle. And from there, he had now to concede pressure. He conceded pressure After conceding pressure, that's how now they appointed Honorable Vinda to start acting as the acting president. I don't know if that is in their constitution. We really don't know, because that is their own constitution. And of course, they also appointed Honorable this Chilangwa to be acting as the general secretary after the Mr. Mwila, who was the general secretary, also I think retired in active political party leadership, according to what he stated. And from there, what did they say? They said, "Oh yes, we need now to put now the principle. In this case, we are referring now to the president of the political party who should be running this political party." What did they say? They said, yes. To do this, going by their constitution, they need to go to the convention, so that all the leadership of their political parties needs to go and elect, I think, the leader of their choice. And what did they say? Oh no, because of this, let's give it time. And that was last year. Let's give time to at least next year. Then there was pressure when next year, and they gave themselves the month of March. That March will be the ideal month for which they are going to put their own leader. And they opened up to those who were willing to participate as candidates as presidential candidates. They opened up to the public of their own political party. And we saw about 8 of them applied. And we have been hearing as the time went by. After these 8 applied, and with a huge sums of money which they were paying as an application fee, 200,000 kwacha each. All of them, they paid 200,000 kwacha. So when you multiply 200 by 8, 1.6 million, it was global. It was raised from that. And they even gave the deadline. That's why I'm saying, if the PF, they fail to manage the leadership, I think for them thinking of coming back, yes, they could have been those staunch supporters who believe, when they are walking, they walk PF. When they are sleeping, they sleep PF. When they are eating, they eat PF. Whatever is PF. With them, what they know, PF is coming back. But as long as the kind current of confusion in terms of the leadership crisis, I can call it a crisis. Much as I know others might say there is no crisis, but there is a crisis. Why am I saying this? As I'm qualifying to my statement. Secondly, after they even put a deadline on such a date, they were going to receive the applications of the presidential hopeful. And those 8, they met that guideline. They submitted everything, and on the deadline, they closed. What happened after they received the application? We don't know. If to themselves, they saw to themselves, those who are holding on power, they saw that from the very candidates, there is no one of their preference. They opened up. So it's free for all. We have opened. Those who are willing, again, they can apply. And that's why we hear to say there could have been a 9th person also who applied outside the stipulated period which was given. Then, as time went by, what did we start hearing? There are some petitions which are being taken to the former former president that they want this person. Those are just hearsays which we are hearing, and from the hearsays we hear to say no, they are even driving the agenda of cancelling the convention or the meeting which is scheduled for March, whereby these candidates who applied all their minds, all their resources, they pushed in, they pumped in by ensuring that come March, they are going for an election so that a preferred candidate should be elected under that political party. And now you tell them to say, no, I think we are going to delay a bit because there are some petitions which are coming over maybe a certain individual whom other individuals want to run the political party. If that is true, what is being heard is very, very unfortunate. They have even started from their circles. They have even started talking about, who is going to come to the convention, because to them, I think the leadership of the constituency, the district, the province, it expired. because after it expired after 5 years, I think, according to them, it expired. So who is going to come for a convention? Because they need to start now. Those are some of the excuses which they have started now giving, them excuses. They have started giving each other. They need first to go for lower organ election. That's when now they should come now. Those who are going to be elected are the ones now are going to constitute now the team which should come now for a convention. Why are they doing this? Why did they dupe? Because that is duping the members of their own political party, duping those who applied and wanted to participate and contest. These are some of the issues, Nelson and the Zambians out there, which we are talking about. And if it is true, and I still repeat, if it's true that there could have been certain individuals who are going, I think, asking for the former Republican president, His Excellency, Mr. Edgar Lungu, to come back, I think they are doing a disservice to him. He was humbled by the very Zambians they are referring to, by 1 million plus. People of Zambia.
I'll ask you a question before I come before I come to the affairs of the Republican for ACL. Do you think the suspension of Miles Sampa should be looked at as a deliberate, attempt to remove him from the list of presidential candidates? Remember, this is not the first time that
Miles Sampa is not a threat of a patriotic front for now alone. No. Miles Sampa has been a threat and in PF for some time. Remember, even ECL's election, ideally, as we are speaking right now, we could have been talking of former president, Mr. Miles Sampa. Had it not been what they played at their convention, where of course we are reliably informed that there was even no election which took place there. What took place was the matter of raising hands, because the team for Miles Sampa, which was being supported by Guy Scott, then, because after Guy Scott, I think there were some issues of telling, no, you cannot stand because of all those issues. So Guy Scott, I think, now rallied behind Miles Sampa. When the team for Miles Sampa and Guy Scott were in Kabwe, inside Kabwe there, but the team for Edgar Lungu were at Murungushi. We are reliably informed that the injunction after injunction were even being signed at night by some of the judges. At night, they signed, put in the injunction for Miles Sampa not to go ahead for their convention, where even the acting Republican president was there. Injunction was issued. But Miles Sampa, because he respected the law, the team for Miles Sampa respected the law. What did they do? They cancelled that convention. And when they cancelled that convention, then they had to allow that the Edgar Lungu's group, which went for a hands voting, to say no, they were going to go with Edgar Lungu. Had Miles Sampa, if Miles Sampa did not love the Patriotic Front, if Miles Sampa did not love the people of those who supported the Patriotic Front, he could have also gone for an injunction. He could have gone. What could have happened? PF could have had no candidate. But Miles Sampa played it cool. He was looking for another time to come. And this is the time which he felt, or which he feels it has come, so that he takes over. Miles Sampa is not a pushover in PF. Quite a number of people, they like Miles Sampa. And quite a number of people, they want they want Sampa to take over the power of the PF. And the reason why all such kind of innuendos are taking place is just to threaten him. Not only threaten him, to disadvantage him, maybe ultimately wanting to get rid of him, so that they remain with the people whom they feel, I think, they can challenge on that city. Very, very unfortunately, very, very undemocratic what is happening in Patriotic Front. And the reason why I said the chances for them with this kind of wrangles and crisis, the chances for PF returning back to power is equals to zero. I still repeat that. It is equals to zero. Because even those few individuals, maybe who clinged to them, who had a bit of hope in them, but in the manner now they are running the transition of leadership, it has even sent them off guard. You say no. And moreover, as I was saying, if His Excellency, the former head of state, was rejected by 1 million plus, how do you expect that he's going to recover from 1 million plus to come to a plus?
By the way, remember that was close to 18 months ago. Things have changed from August 2021 to today. Things have changed. When you look at what is happening on the ground, it's different from what was happening on the ground then. Don't you think this period would definitely give Zambians a different perception in terms of the current leadership?
And I am still talking about ECL. Look here, the Zambian people, they rejected him, maybe because of the same things which are saying they have changed. So how do they expect him to come and amend the things which he messed up?
Do you think if we were to go for an election today and HH stands versus ECL, do you see HH winning?
HH can go through. No question about it. HH can go through. You know, transition the way it is. Because HH is it's just a transition from Patriotic Front to, of course, the UPND government. And the way we run the government is not the way we run our homes. No, there are systems, there are policies, there are what. So it's not that immediately the president took over, then he was supposed to change everything to suit what he wants. There are a lot of things which are involved there. Yes, even when you get married, my brother, my sister out there, when you get married, do not expect that within that 1 year or 1 month, within that 1 month, you are going to have a child. No. At times, even 2 years passes for you to have a child. There are issues of, because this blood of this person, this is what, and so forth. By the time now God is blessing you with that child, maybe it will be after 1 year or 2 years, and so forth. People who keep on, we are not, all those kind of things. They'll be talking about those things. Similarly, even in governance system, when you take over power, it doesn't mean to say, yes, today, yes, you might have been referring to what maybe he could have been talking when he was seeking for a vote. Similarly, even Michael Chirifyasata, when he was seeking for a vote, what did he say? The moment you give me power, within 90 days, I'm going to give you a constitution which will stand the test of time. Did we get the constitution within 90 days? The answer is no. Michael Sata was everything 90 days, 90 days, 90 days. Did we get those in 90 days? Not at all. Because those are some of the things, even you, the voter, the moment you are even going to vote, said some of those things you could even know. Because even yourself at your home, you can't do that. To say, no, the moment it is that. But look at the bigger picture of the policies of this government. How are the policies? Then you look at them and so forth and say, yes, these policies, if they were implemented, indeed, some of the things which we have been crying for can come to an end. So in a nutshell, between the two, definitely, if they went today in an election, I'm telling you the truth, HH can again win the election.
What do you think President HH can tell the Zambian people that can make him win an election, that can get Zambians to vote for him? What is it that he can tell them this time around?
There is even nothing to say this time around. HH has introduced some of the policies which just requires well implementers. As simple as it is. HH has introduced free education, which a lot of people, of course, they are talking about. How about this free education? Despite free education, people that are buying uniforms, people that are buying books, people that are doing what? You go to the classroom, you find they are bested, whatever. All the good things, always they come with at least 1 or 2 negative things, which now requires concerted efforts. Yes, we have seen to say space in schools have lessened. These are some of the issues which now the policy implementers are supposed now to be working on in assisting the government. The only problem which we have, we want, even when you are given a bag of meal, you have given a pot, you have given water, you want also your parents to come and prepare a meal for you. Not at all. It's your own now to prepare that. The man has brought this. So a wife, you say, no, yes, my husband, you have brought meal. Yes, my husband, you pay for water. Yes, my husband, you gave me money to procure pots. You even come and prepare me a meal for me. It is not supposed to be the case. So it is incumbent upon now the policy implementers to come up with a system of alleviating such negative things which has come with free education. Not only that, HH, when he came into power, we saw what used to happen there at the Ministry of Justice, where we are seeing the retirees. There is even one audio which even goes around circulating, where one woman was even cursing the Patriotic Front leadership. So no, your children are going to suffer. We saw that video was going around. We saw that. Now, it became very difficult for retirees to receive the money. When HH came into power, today retirees are smiling. Most of those retirees, do you think they are going to sit not to go and vote for HH? They will. Not similar to those who have benefited from free education, those who are not going to school. When the election came, do you think they want to vote for HH? They will. Not only that, we have seen what he has done, HH, by ensuring that he has introduced constituency development fund, where even money which was being accessed from Ministry of Youth and Child Development, only those who had connections with certain party officials, with certain ministers, with certain permanent secretaries, certain directors, are the ones who were acquiring such youth empowerment, such women empowerment. But is it the case now? No. The current leadership of HH, what has he done? He says these monies which you were accessing from here in Lusaka, we are bringing them in Ruwingu, we are bringing them to Pososhi, we are bringing them to Snazeze, Snazongwe, we are bringing this money to Skongo, we are bringing this to Vubwi. Now you people of Vubwi, sit down. Is it through this youth club they can manage to come up with a modern bricks company or so forth? Yes, give them money. They are receiving money from their own constituencies, from their own districts, including the women. They are receiving now women empowerment from their own constituencies, from their own districts. There are some of the youths whom you discarded because they obtained my 999. We call them nine at grade 12. Others, they only ended at grade 9, and we discarded them to say you have no life. But what has this government done? It says no, we need you. We have money through constituency development fund to take you and undertake some of the TVETA programs, such as bricklaying, tailoring, carpentry, then hospitality, all those issues. We are seeing that. Do you think those parents and even those who obtain money, now they are acquiring a profession? Do you think they want to vote for HH? The answer is no, they will vote for HH, including their family members. Here is a situation where we had problems now of,
having mentioned all that, why do you think the Patriotic Front is struggling really to replace ECL? Is it that, all the 8 candidates that have vied for that particular position are not good enough? We are looking at the likes of,
and that's
GBM,
this,
Amao Sampa himself, Emmanuel Mwamba. We are looking at, Brian Mundubere. These are credible.
Even
Greyfoot Monde.
Yes.
These are credible party members who have definitely been with the party for a long time.
Yeah.
Why go to ECL to coerce him to get back into? Why not just speak from himself?
And from that's the reason why I told you, and I'm still telling the Zambian out there to say, if that's what they are planning, that marks the end of Patriotic Front. Why am I saying this? As you have rightly put it, all these 8 plus that other one whom we have heard, I don't want to mention his name, but we have heard from the social media to say there is a 9th one who also paid, but they don't want to disclose his name. He paid outside the period. But we are talking about those 9 ones or the 8 ones who are known in public. The 8 ones, the interpretation now says they have no leadership capacity. And do you think all these 8, they are going to accept that they have no leadership capacity? They have the followers, those who are following them. Are they going to accept to say, indeed, yes, Mundubile, you have no leadership capacity? Indeed, yes, Taruchilufia, you have no leadership capacity. Indeed, you, Mao Sampa, you have no leadership capacity. Indeed, you, Emmanuel Mwamba, you have no leadership capacity. Indeed, you, Kambwiri, you have no leadership capacity. Greyfonde, you have no leadership capacity. You, this Lunte MP, my man Kafwaya, you have no leadership capacity. Those are the issues now which are going to bring wrangles within themselves now. Let's wait for March. You will see what will happen. If indeed they are going to postpone indefinitely, you will see what will happen come April. Because now, you know the way politics is. You cannot waste 2 years whilst you are in opposition just fighting for leadership, wrangles, who to put there. Whilst your fellow, the ruling political party, they are going on trying to implement that, trying to do that. Where they are making mistakes, they are correcting those mistakes. They mend that and so forth. You just busy looking for who is going to take you to whichever Jerusalem.
Probably when you look at Honorable Lubinda and of course Nixon Shilango and other party members, maybe they are looking at from the 8. Nobody can definitely stand against HH. Probably HH could be stronger than the 8, and they feel the only person who can match the strength of HH is ECL himself, because ECL has defeated HH before. HH defeats ECL, so they're looking at draw here.
No, look here. Let's count, let's add the votes which ECL beat HH in 2014 and which ECL beat HH in 2015. You add those votes together. Can you compare with how HH had to beat ECL in one election? The answer is no. These are some of the issues.
He was not,
actually,
by
ECL,
then,
I'm telling you the truth.
ECL, by then HH was not tried and tested.
Telling you the truth.
By then HH was not tried and tested. Zambians now will have 2 leaders who they have tried and tested. They have tried HH, they have tried ECL, so now they can make a probable choice. It's like you're getting married and you have been offered 2 women, and both of them you have been with them. For each one of them you have been with them, and now you know them. Don't you think now you can make a probable choice?
I can rest assure you. Let our former president, His Excellency, our former Republican president, Mr. or Dr. Edgar Chagwarungu, continue enjoying in his retirement.
Would it be a mistake if at all ECL was to get back to politics, active politics again?
According to the law, he has a right. He's a Zambian. He can come back.
Would it be a mistake?
A big mistake to him. They have no apology to take. A big mistake. Zambians.
What is he going to lose?
What is going to lose? One, integrity. Because definitely Zambian people don't think we can be going around circles, recycling. Do you think you are not capable to lead the people of Zambia? Do you think I'm not capable to lead the people of Zambia? Do you think the other youths and the other men, the other whatever, they are not capable to lead the people of Zambia?
KK once made a return.
No. And you saw what transpired when he wanted to make a return. The Zambian people rejected him to say no. And they even changed the constitution to buy him, not to come back. What did they do? Because they even demonstrated, they even boycotted. When they boycotted, that marked the end of UNIP. It will never come back. Sorry, the people of those who are in the UNIP, but coming back, it is never going to come back. Because Zambians, they move. You move with the current situation. Come on, we are not lacking leaders in this country.
So what
we are not lacking leaders in this country. We have a lot of leaders in this country.
What should the PF do at the moment?
The PF, what they should do, let them go to what they started. As simple as it is.
With the same candidates?
With the same candidates. They are the ones who have given themselves. If they feel that they are not capable to lead, let them tell them that fooling them around. Because that's been fooling them around. Others have been spending money, going around, trotting the country from one place of this country to the other. They have been feeding those supporters who are supporting them. They are doing all sorts of things. They even How they even paid that 200,000 kwacha which they paid. Today you are given 200 or I'm given 200. Another person give. You can do a lot of things in that money, but they have to have sacrificed for the sake of their own political party. Then you come and tell them to say you are not capable. They even met in their own central committee where they were approving those names. We are reliably informed to say they approved those names to say they were capable to lead the party. So what has come wrong now?
So what do you think? What do you think is causing all this confusion in the PF? Is it Honorable Given Lubinda or is it Nixon Chilango?
It can't be honorable, given Chilangwa, neither this
Lubinda.
No, because these two were appointed by ECL. When these two were appointed by ECL, so there is somewhere where they draw the authority from. So whatever they are doing it on behalf of where they are drawing authority from.
So are you insinuating that perhaps ECL has got key interest in coming back and is the one who is fueling all this confusion?
If ECL had no interest, by now ECL could have sat down all the candidates. But because he has become now a consultant, it doesn't mean to say when you go on retirement, you cannot be consulted, He has become a consultant. I am a social scientist. I don't belong to any political party, but I can be consulted by any political party and I can give them guidance the way I'm giving them free guidance. The PF. They are even supposed to pay, but I'm giving them free guidance.
You seem to be criticizing their decision here.
I'm criticizing their decision because they are going against the tenets of democracy, which the party was formed on as enshrined by Article 60 of our own constitution.
By the way, has the Patriotic Front ever been democratic?
Those are definitely. If you are saying,
from your own opinion, has the Patriotic Front ever been democratic?
Democracy has a lot of tenets. You maybe the question could have been, have they met all the tenets of democracy?
That's exactly what I mean.
If is that answer, the answer is no, and there will be no any other party in this country, even in the world, even in the developed countries, which can meet all the tenets of democracy. You will find that maybe one they will miss and so they will do this and so forth. They will be strong in this, but of course, what PF has done or it is doing, it is a big disservice to its members who gave authority and trust to them, especially the leaders. And by the way, how do you rebrand? How do you rebrand? By bringing the same people. Come on, which rebranding is that? Because they are saying they are rebranding. If they are rebranding, then they say no, we are rebranding by bringing back again the very person who made the political party to sink. Come on, what is that? So what I'm saying, the ECL is a parent now of the nation. He has no political party. He has no what party can be consulted. And since he's coming from the Patriotic Front, that's where his respect is being drawn from.
So what kind of
what he's supposed to do?
What kind
Let
of consultation?
Him give counsels.
What kind of consultation should the PF get from their former president?
Of course,
is it okay to ask him to say, okay, so Mr. President, who do you think is capable? To ask them the who kind of questions.
The who, it is not the president to give them, because this is not an autocratic rule of this country. No. This country is a democratic country. The tenets is allow people to choose its own leaders. And this is enshrined in our constitution, both from the preamble and from the main body of the constitution. It is very, very clear. Even the political parties are supposed to demonstrate the tenets of democracy. And such tenets of democracy among such is to allow people participate, the members of that political party to participate and elect the person of their own choice. The only thing in terms of the advice which maybe ECL can give these people who are in is to allow them to ensure that let democracy take its place, its course. Let the people participate and choose the person of their choice. And let him come out clearly to say, me, I already told you to say I'm in retirement. Please let the Zambian people choose its successor. Since you have said to say is in March when you want to go there. Yes, let the people go and choose the leader of their choice. And this leader now should start now uniting the members. You know where the sad part of it is. There are 8 candidates with the different supporters. Each candidate has got his supporters. And sadly, we have been hearing how they have been hammering each other. They are all a patriotic front, but because they are coming from different camps, they are hammering each other. So this leader who is going to be elected is supposed to be such a leader who should now bring unity, bring now these other 7 together, and ensure that all those 7, they need to start speaking now to their supporters. Let's see, come together and be united and face the battle. That's what Israel is supposed to be doing, and not keeping quiet. They're keeping quiet, and where we have even started hearing to say there could have been some traditional leaders who are even going there petitioning. If you are told that is true, that is chaotic. Come on. Especially the traditional leaders. Yes, they can. But what we know, traditional leaders are supposed to be working with the government of the day.
All these people who've been petitioning, ECL to bounce back into active politics and perhaps stand in 2026. Don't you think it's because they have lost confidence in the current leadership? They feel problems are just too much for HH to manage them because of perhaps lack of enough experience in managing government affairs under a crisis, and they needed somebody who has got experience?
First and foremost, in this country, there is no leadership crisis. 1. 2, in this country, there is no crisis in terms of how we are being governed. Not at all.
So there's no economic crisis?
That's all. And that
so don't you think this economic crisis would need the experience of somebody who's been there,
and
who's driven the country through such
that's why
crisis?
That's why we are missing a point. And I always say, I'm not a spokesperson of UPND. It's only that I think people, you miss a point. In democracy or in governance system, there are a lot of areas of development. So development is not only one part. There's economic development, education development, human capital development, this development, that development, that development, that development. So, of course, yes, they have tried their level best in these other areas of development. Where they are missing it out and where we are even appealing. I'm even appealing. Me, I'm a social scientist. I'm giving them a free advice. I'm appealing. The UPND government just working on the economic crisis, it will be something. It will surpass even some of the developed countries.
But
they just work on that.
It seems
and
of course, it seems like our president Hakainde Hichilema has lost that formula he was using once in opposition.
Look here, opposition. That's what I was saying. In opposition and in when you have a city, these are two different things. Even when you are getting married, similarly, even myself, when of course we are getting married, there are a lot of plans which we plan together with our fiancés. We plan reaching, going for whatever in Europe. When for honeymoon, we are going to go to Siavonga, we are going to go to Livingstone, and we are going to be even at a Vani hotel. When we are in Livingstone, we are going to visit this, we are going to visit Mukuni Park and this what, from there and so forth. But now, as you start now preparing for the wedding, the things which are required for the wedding, then you start now globally new money to an extent where you even start borrowing some money. Then when you enter into marriage now, you are with your wife. Reality now comes in the house. You need to ensure that you maintain the home. You should not separate the home. You need to ensure that your children, when you start being blessed with the children and so forth, from there now, they're going out now for honeymoon, become a luxury. Yes, you can go on the honeymoon. Now, instead of going to Livingstone, yes, let's have a honeymoon at Genesis 32. There's a good place there. The friend who owns that is a good friend of mine. He's from the part of this other country. Genesis 32. You say, no, I'm going to Genesis 32. Or no, I'm going to such a place within the money which you are supposed to spend to go to Livingstone. You say, no, why can't we cut that? Because when we go to a Vani hotel, actually a Vani hotel, we are paying in dollars. When you pay in dollars, why should all those issues comes up now. So that's what we are talking about. This is the time now. HH now is trying to put now the country where it is supposed to be, of which that is not a sign of being a failure. No, it's a sign of maturity where a person is trying to face the bull on its own. That's what is happening now.
All right, so as we wind up, look at where the Patriotic Front has found itself since the 2021 general election. Since that loss of that general election, up to date, they do not have a distinctive leadership, and they have 3 more years to go before they can put the party together to face the 2026 general election. Do you think they'll be able to do that in the next 3 years? They only have 3 years to go before the next election.
It will be very, very difficult, I can rest assure you. It will be very, very, very difficult because they have a uphill where they need to go and convince the people of all the wrongdoings which they were doing to say they won't do that. They need to come and convince us to say there will be no cadres now who will be beating us. You pass this side and so there will be no cadres who will be flashing the monies around. They need to come and convince us to say no, they will maintain the issue of the bursaries, giving even the meal allowances to students. They need to come and convince us to say they will maintain with free education. They need to come and convince us to say they will continue employing in large numbers of health workers and teachers and any other sectors. They need to come and convince. It is not an easy thing. It's not an easy task. It requires a robust team, which is a robust and united team. But as I am telling you, there are 8 candidates. These 8 candidates, they have got supporters, these 8 candidates. And as they have supporters, these 8 candidates, each and every supporter wants his president to be the leader. Now, if they choose this one, so this one now will have a battle here to ensure that he unites these other 7. These other 7, and these other 7 also, they will have a battle here to go and unite these cadres. Moreover, those cadres, they are chewing now from this candidate because the candidate has a hope that, I'm going to be the president. But the moment that he is no longer a president, is not so meaning the support to these cadres is going to shrink. And these cadres would want to continue chewing from this man. Then they even start even telling him lies to say, no, you are actually popular, the entire country form a political party, so what and so forth. Definitely 2026 you are going to, what do they want? What they want is to chew. What they want is to eat. And because of that, it will be something else. So it may even take another 1 year or 2 years for the leader who is going to be elected just to be trying to put things in order in its own political party, where they might only have a year in which they were going to be to campaign. And honestly speaking, do you think they are going to manage doing that? The answer is taught anyway. They know themselves. But to me, as a social scientist, and even the evidence I've gathered on the ground, with the wrangles which is going on in Patriotic Front, coming back to power, it is equals to 0 unless they work out on their leadership wrangle, where even these they even agree. And in opposition, why 8? Honestly speaking, why 8? Why competing 8 of them? Why
not 8?
And not only that.
Why not 8?
And yes, it's in a democracy. Very true. Even 50 they can be. But you are in opposition. And you are trying to bring everyone together. And when you are trying to bring everyone together, then you start disintegrating yourselves. Why doing that? If you love the party, because if they love the party themselves, wait. I haven't finished from the. I haven't finished exactly. I haven't finished from this one.
I need you to.
I haven't finished. No. Just give me a minute, please, before I lose the thought. Among these very 8. All 2 are the ones who are coming from a different provinces. When we are talking about this political party, it is supposed to be representative for all the 10 provinces. Only 3 provinces are participating in this the so-called election. 3 provinces. One province, Western province, he has Grefford Monde. 1. Luapula province has Dr. Chitaru Chirufya 2. So in short, then the remaining 6 are coming from 1 province. And sadly, my brother, these very 6, 3 they are coming from 1 district. Another 3 from 1 district. Come on, Zambians. But why? Why?
So now, Mr. Kola.
Mao Sampa is coming from Kasam. Then GBM is coming from Kasama. Who is this other person who is coming? Emmanuel Mwamba is coming from Kasama. 3 are coming from Kasama. 3, they are coming from Mporokoso. Munduvire coming from Mporokoso. This is Kambwiri coming from Mporokoso. This is Kafwaya coming from Mporokoso. Come on, gentlemen.
So, Mr. Kola,
then Putin even this, because previously, before Wapura was a province, it was under Northern. So, similarly, Muchinga was under Northern. Before, these were a province. If you have done history, very well. So, meaning, one province, they have 7 candidates.
So, Mr. Kolala, are you simply saying if at all from this 8, if at all they were to pick one candidate from the 8, for instance, they picked Chilufya, Chitalu Chilufya, do you think the other 7 would actually support Chilufya?
And those are the issues which we have been talking about. If they had such in mind, why didn't they sit themselves now? Before their only political party actually is torn apart. Because as we are speaking right now, it's almost torn apart the party. Why am I saying this? Because the supporters for Dr. Chilufya, at times they don't even look eye to eye with the supporters of Munduwire. And the supporters of Munduwire, they don't look eye to eye with the supporters of Chichimbaka Mwiri. The supporters of Chichimbaka Mwiri might not be looking eye to eye with the supporters of this Mtoto Kafwaya. The supporters of Mtoto Kafwaya are not looking eye to eye with GBM. The supporters of GBM from the same district, they are not looking eye to eye with Emmanuel Mwamba, neither with Sampa. These are some of the issues which we are talking about, brethren. That this political party as at now is a history. Because you find that from the same province and provinces which were perceived as the supporter for PF, it is the same province where it is disintegrated. Given now chance, the reason why I was saying if HH stood today with whichever candidate can wallop them. Because going to all where they voted HH almost closer to 100%, there it is still intact. And the people, they still love him. And even in these other areas, they are still intact. Those who supported HH, they are still there. They are still supporting HH. So what do you expect? HH is still there. Upwardly Pampando in 2026. And if they wanted to come back the PF, they could have done that the moment they lost. They could have sorted out the leadership crisis. But the only problem is there is too much selfishness in Patriotic Front. Too much selfishness in Patriotic Front. There is too much ID. Me, unless me, not this one. In psychology, ID, ego, when you're talking of the ego, all those issues. There's too much of I. If it's not me, then the PF is not there. Which is not the case. We are not lacking leaders in this country. We have a lot of leaders. We are a lot of, even those who are emerging, the young leaders like yourself. Look at the way you are managing even yourself, both on, at one point, one was even jokingly telling me to say, when you're appearing on 411 with Nelson, the way Nelson looks, he looks like a social scientist, and yourself, you look like more of a journalist because of that's the reason why I had no option. Now I have to, but please, Zambians has to understand that me, I'm a social scientist. I go around, I mingle with people. From here, I have to pass through the markets. I have to pass through the bus stop. Now I can't go in a suit. I can't go in a what? No. So that's the reason why wherever you meet me, we have to discuss and so forth. Why? Because you are exhibiting good leadership. That's what we want. So are you saying there should be no chance for you to come and rule this country? The answer is no, because you are a Zambian. You can. It's not only one person who has wisdom in this country. Not at all. If Kaunda, who did marvelous things for this country, who fought for even independence, who suffered tremendously for this country, we said no at one point. Baba, enough is enough. 27 years is enough. Let another person also rule this country, because you are not the only one. And by that time, we were even singing, especially where I come from, Kumulu, Nilesa Panshi, Nikaunda, Sokoli, Kumulu, Lesa Panshi, Kaunda, Kumulu, Lesa Panshi, Nikaunda. We said, no matter how Panshi was Kaunda, there was a time when we said, no, they are emerging leaders. leaders. And there came Dr. Chiruba. And after Dr. Chiruba, there came also, I think, Mwanawasa. And in most cases, all these leaders, we are not even expecting them to become leaders. Because even when they gave Chiruba, Chiruba was not even the factor at that time. They just changed their mind when they were there at this motel along Mumba Road. Which motel is that? Along Mumba Road, when they held their last rally. That's when now, after whatever you talked to nice thing, then that's when they said, we are going with you. But ideally, the people who were supposed to be given to rule the MMD, Chiruba was not even in their line. So that's what leadership is all about. So what we are talking about in this country, we are not lacking leadership. We have leaders who can lead this country. And luckily, at the moment, we do not have leadership crisis. We have the leadership under the UPND government led by His Excellency Mr. Hakainde Hichilema with his team. And on top of that, we have quite a number of youthful women who might come and take over from His Excellency Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. If maybe things won't work well in 2026 or ultimately in 2031, there are other leaders who can come take over. Not after your time has come, then you want to cling to know me until death parts me. No, that is not democracy. Democracy is allow people to choose the person whom they want. So we are appealing once again to the Patriotic Front that let them do the right thing, the correct thing, for the best interest of their own members. I still repeat, for the best interest for their own members and the country. Why am I saying the country? We need a strong opposition. We need a strong opposition to be giving stronger opposition to the ruling political party. Look at when Sata was in opposition. Look at even when HH was in opposition, how he was giving pressure to the ruling political party. And that's what we need. Even in these constituencies, we need opposition political parties to be I think, pushing the members of parliament. We need contenders, those who are going to stand in 2026, to start showing up now, to start giving, I think, proper checks and balances to our elected members of parliament, to our elected councillors, to our elected council chairperson, and to our elected mayors. We need people who should be giving checks and balances to these leaders so that they can be on their toes, further to which it will be just a holiday for UPND.
Is the Patriotic Front under leadership crisis? It's bye-bye for now.